Now, what are polynomials? So, in brief, it is an algebraic expression. Algebraic expression. So, in algebraic expression, it has variables and constants. And we can see coefficients. Coefficients and degrees. Or exponents. So already you are all familiar with these words. So first, polynomials we can classify based on number of terms. We can classify based on number of terms having. So if a polynomial has, it is an algebraic expression, it contains variables and constant, coefficients, it has degrees or exponents. Now, types of polynomials. We can classify the polynomials in based on number of terms and based on degree. So first, based on number of terms, we can classify monomials. And monomial means it contains one term. Binomial. It has two terms. Trinomial. It has three terms. And based on degree also, we can classify the polynomials. One is a linear polynomial. It means degree is 1. Quadratic polynomial. Degree 2. And cubic polynomial. Degree is 3. So polynomials we can classify based on the number of terms and based on degree. So based on number of terms, if it has one term, monomial, two terms, binomial, three terms, it is called trinomial. Based on degree, linear polynomial, quadratic polynomial, cubic polynomial. Now let us see what is the general form of the linear, quadratic, cubic polynomial. So general form of the linear quadratic polynomial, that is p of x. So p of x is the notation of the polynomial. So if the degree is 1, it is called linear polynomial. The general form of the linear polynomial, we can write ax plus b. If the degree is 2, it is called quadratic polynomial. The general form of the quadratic polynomial with variable x, ax square bx plus c. Here degree of this polynomial is 2, so it is called quadratic polynomial. And degree of cubic polynomial is 3. So its general form of cubic polynomial ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d. So the three are the general form of the polynomials. This is the linear polynomial. Its degree is 1. The degree is 2. The general form of that is called quadratic polynomial, ax squared plus bx plus c. If the degree is 3, it is called cubic polynomial. The general form of the cubic polynomial is ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d. Now in 10th class, we can study about quadratic polynomial. What is the quadratic polynomial? The degree of the polynomial is 2. It is called quadratic polynomial. What is the general form of the quadratic polynomial? Ax squared plus bx plus c. Now let us take one example. P of x equal to x squared minus 5x plus 6. So this is the example for quadratic polynomial. So here in the place of x, if you take 2 square minus 5 into 2 plus 6, 4 minus 10 plus 6, the value of the polynomial is 0. It becomes 0. So now let us see now what is 0 of polynomial. So for what value of variable the polynomial becomes 0, that value is called 0 of the polynomial. So here 2 is 0 of polynomial, that is x squared minus 5x plus 6. So usually how many zeros a polynomial has? So it depends on the degree of the polynomial. We know the degree of the linear polynomial is 1, so it has only 1 0. So the degree of the quadratic polynomial is 2, so it has 2 zeros. It has 2 zeros. And degree of cubic polynomial is 3, so it has 3 zeros. Now let us see how we can find zeros of the quadratic polynomial. And now see, you take one polynomial, that is quadratic polynomial, P of x equal to x squared minus 5x plus 6. So how we can find zeros of the polynomials? What is the degree of the quadratic polynomial? It's 2, so it has 2 zeros. First you find what are the factors of x squared minus 5x plus 6. We can write into factors this one. How? X squared minus 3x minus 2x plus 6. So then we get x into x minus 3 minus 2 into x minus 3. Then x minus 3 into x minus 2. So the factors of x squared minus 5x plus 6 are x minus 3 into x minus 2. These two are the factors. So when the polynomial is 0, P of x is 0, then it is called 0 polynomial. So for what values of x the polynomial becomes 0, that values are called zeros of polynomial. So when p of x equal to 0 means you can write here x minus 3 into x minus 2 equal to 0. We can find what is the 0 of the x minus 3. 0 of the x minus 3 is x equal to 3. And we can find what is the 0 of x minus 2. That is x equal to 2. So 3 and 2 are the zeros of the quadratic polynomial. Now let us see what is the difference between, or what is the relation between the zeros of the quadratic polynomial and coefficients of the quadratic polynomial. Now let us see what is the relation between zeros and the coefficients. I think you know what is the general form of the quadratic polynomial. What is p of x equal to ax square bx plus c. Here a is the coefficient of x square, b is the coefficient of x, and c is the constant. And the two zeros you take alpha and beta. Alpha, beta are two zeros. Now let us take one quadratic polynomial. P of x equal to x square plus 8x plus 15. First, you find what are the zeros of quadratic polynomial. So for this, you factorize it. You find what are the factors of x square plus 8x plus 15 by doing factorization. So x square plus 3x plus 5x, because of 15 factors 3 into 5, so you can write plus 15. Then we get x, if you take common, x plus 3 plus 5 common, x plus 3. Now the factors are x plus 3 into x plus 5. So the factors of x square plus 8x plus 15 are x plus 3 into x plus 5. Now let us see what are the zeros of x plus 3 and x plus 5. What is the zero of x plus 3? Minus 3. So 1 0 is, you take minus 3. What is the zero of x plus 5? Minus 5. So other 0 is minus 5. So it means in the place of x, if you take minus 3, the x plus 3 becomes 0. Same way here, in the place of x, if you take minus 5, x plus 5 equal to 0. So minus 3 and minus 5 are the zeros of x plus 3 and x plus 5. The same zeros are also zeros of x square plus 8x plus 15, since both are equal here. So alpha equal to 1 0 minus 3 and other 0 is minus 5. Now let us see sum of zeros we will find. Sum of zeros. What is the 1 0 minus 3 and other 0 is minus 5. So we get minus 3 minus 5, we get minus 8. So the two zeros, 1 0 alpha and other 0, is alpha plus beta is equal to minus 8. The same thing minus 8, we can also write minus, what is 8 here? Coefficient of x. So, minus of coefficient of x by coefficient of x square. So that is, we can also write alpha plus beta. In general form, what is the coefficient of x? B. So minus b by a. This is the one relation. Is it clear? So sum of two zeros is equal to, we can say, minus of coefficient of x by coefficient of x square. That is alpha plus beta equal to minus b by a. So let us see one more relation. The zeros what we have, alpha 1 0 minus 3, beta minus 5. Now you find product of two zeros. That is alpha into beta. Minus 3 into minus 5 plus 15. Now with the help of coefficients also we can find product of zeros. So what is the polynomial you have? That is p of x equal to x square plus 8x plus 15. Here coefficients a equal to 1, b equal to 8 and c equal to 15. Now the product of two zeros, that is a constant by coefficient of x squared. What is the constant here? Constant is 15 by coefficient of x square 1. So 15 and here also 15. So from this we can understand the product of two zeros, that is alpha into beta, is equal to constant by coefficient of x square. Constant means c by coefficient of x square means a. So this is a second relation. Is it clear? Thank you. Now let us take one more polynomial. P of x equal to x square minus 15. First for this you find zeros. So it means you factorize it. So factors of x square minus 15. This you can write a square minus b square form to get into factor. So this you can write x square minus root 15 whole square. Now we get a square minus b square form. Then you can write here x plus root 15 into x minus root 15. Now we get two factors. So when the 0 of x plus root 15 is minus root 15. So 1 0 is minus root 15. And 0 of x minus root 15 is plus root 15. It means in the place of x, if you write plus root 15, this will be 0. So the 0 of x minus root 15 is plus root 15. So this is a second 0. Second 0 is plus root 15. So 1 0 minus root 15, other 0 is plus root 15. Now you find the sum of zeros here. So first sum of zeros, that is alpha plus beta. 1 0 minus root 15 and other 0 plus root 15, we get 0. Now with the help of coefficients also we can find sum of zeros. C. So what is the coefficient here? Coefficient of x square we know that is a, which is equal to 1 here. Here there is no coefficient of x, so b equal to 0 and c equal to minus 15. So now you find sum of zeros. Alpha plus beta, 0 by 1, that is minus b by a. So which is equal to 0 minus of 0 by 1. We get 0 only. So here alpha plus beta, with the help of zeros we get 0, and with the help of coefficients we get 0. So what we can tell, sum of two zeros is equal to minus b by a, which is equal to minus of coefficient of x by coefficient of x square. Similarly, we can find the product of two zeros also. So alpha into beta. As we know, 1 0 is minus root 15 into plus root 15. We get minus 15 we get. This is product of two zeros. So the product of two zeros we can find with the help of the coefficient. So that is alpha beta, we can write that is the product of two zeros. So here if you observe C minus 15, A 1. So minus 15 by 1. We get that is C by A. So second the relation, another relation we have alpha beta equal to C by A. This is second relation. So one relation alpha plus beta equal to minus b by a, and other relation is alpha beta equal to c by a. So c by a means constant by coefficient of x square. Same here also alpha plus beta means minus coefficient of x by coefficient of x square. Thank you. So what is quadratic polynomial having two zeros alpha and beta? That is k into x square minus x into alpha plus beta plus alpha beta. So here where k is a real number, k is a real. So x square minus x into sum of zeros plus product of zeros. So when you are given sum of zeros and product of zeros, we can find quadratic polynomial. Otherwise, when you are given two zeros are given, after finding sum of zeros and product of zeros, we can find quadratic polynomial. For example, here sum of zeros. 1 by 4 given. That is alpha plus beta. And product of zeros minus 1 given. That is alpha beta. Then what is the quadratic polynomial? See, substitute alpha plus beta 1 by 4, alpha beta minus 1. Then k into quadratic polynomial, k into x square minus x into 1 by 4. Alpha plus beta 1 by 4. Alpha beta minus 1. So minus 1. Then we get k into x square minus x by 4 minus 1. So here denominator is 4. So for k equal to 4, the quadratic polynomial is 4 into x square minus x by 4 minus 1. Then we get 4 into x square, 4x square. 4 into minus x by 4. 4 cancel, minus x. 4 into minus 1, 4. Now this is the quadratic polynomial whose sum of zeros are 1 by 4 and product of zeros is minus 1. Is it clear? Thank you. Now let us see the graph of the quadratic polynomial. So the polynomial means ax square plus bx plus c. So where here a is not equal to 0. So if we observe the graph of y equal to ax square plus bx plus c, we can draw the graph of this. We can get since it has two zeros, one is negative and other is positive. And when both are positive zeros, the graph of quadratic polynomial we get like this. When both are negative zeros, we may get like this. So in this case, the zeros are 2. So number of zeros here, 2. We can get the graph of quadratic polynomial is like this. So usually the graph of quadratic polynomial are called parabolas. They are called parabolas. So when the two zeros are equal, then the graph of quadratic polynomial we get like this. It touches the x-axis. So it is the 0 of the polynomial. Where the graph touches the x-axis, that is the 0 of the quadratic polynomial. So here it has equal two zeros. Both are. It may be both are positive or it may be both are negative. So in such cases, the zeros are equal here. Here the zeros are equal. We get the graph then like this we get. So when there is no zeros, then the graph will come like this. Just it doesn't touch the x-axis, like this, or it may be down also. So when the graph of quadratic polynomial is like this, then it has no zeros. Understand? Thank you.